you ever wonder why some people seem to achieve everything effortlessly while others struggle endlessly? The truth is, winners see opportunities that most people completely miss. If you've stumbled upon this video, it's not by accident. Pay attention. What you're about to hear could change how you think, act, and succeed in ways you never expected. 1. The mindset difference between winners and others. When we talk about winners, most people immediately think of money, fame, or achievements, but the real difference lies in mindset. Winners don't just act differently, they think differently. It's not about having more resources or luck. It's about how they perceive challenges, opportunities, and even failure. While many people see obstacles as roadblocks, winners see them as stepping stones. They know that every problem carries a lesson, and every setback is a chance to grow stronger. For example, think about Thomas Edison. He famously failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Many would have given up, thinking, "I'm just not cut out for this." But Edison saw each failure as feedback, a vital part of the learning process. That perspective is exactly what separates winners from the rest. It's not that winners are immune to doubt or frustration. They just refuse to let those feelings control their actions. Another critical aspect of a winner's mindset is self-belief, but it's paired with self-awareness. Winners understand their strengths and weaknesses. They focus on maximizing their talents while actively improving where they lack skill. This allows them to approach life strategically rather than randomly. Imagine trying to climb a mountain without knowing which path is safe. Winners don't wander blindly. They plan, adapt, and keep moving forward even when the climb gets tough. Winners also think long-term. While others chase instant gratification, winners invest time and energy into things that will pay off years down the line. They understand that success isn't built in a day, but through consistent effort, smart decisions, and the ability to stay motivated when results are not immediately visible. Finally, winners embrace a mindset of responsibility. They don't blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck for their situation. They take ownership of their actions, decisions, and outcomes. By controlling what they can, like effort, attitude, and habits, they consistently move closer to their goals. In short, the winner's mindset is a combination of resilience, self-awareness, long-term thinking, and personal accountability. It's not a secret formula. It's a way of approaching life that anyone can develop. The real power comes when you start applying this mindset every single day, turning challenges into opportunities and transforming ordinary actions into extraordinary results. 2. How winners set clear, actionable goals. One of the biggest differences between winners and everyone else is how they approach goals. Most people set vague, wishful goals like, "I want to be successful," or "I want more money." But winners don't just wish, they plan. They know that clarity is power, and without it, even the most talented people can wander aimlessly. Winners set goals that are specific, measurable, and actionable. They break big ambitions into smaller, achievable steps, so progress is visible and momentum builds naturally. For example, instead of saying, "I want to get fit," a winner might set a goal like, "I will run 3 times a week, 30 minutes each session, for the next 3 months." Notice how this goal removes ambiguity. It's measurable, actionable, and time-bound. Each small step is a mini-win, and these mini-wins compound over time to produce massive results. Winners also align their goals with their values and long-term vision. They ask themselves, "Does this move me closer to the life I truly want?" This alignment ensures motivation remains high even when progress feels slow. Without this, it's easy to abandon goals at the first sign of difficulty, which is what happens to most people. Another key strategy is writing goals down. Studies show that putting your goals on paper increases your likelihood of achieving them significantly. But winners don't just write them. They review them regularly. They track progress, adjust strategies when needed, and celebrate milestones along the way. This practice turns abstract desires into concrete action plans. Winners also anticipate obstacles. They know that the path to success is rarely straight. By identifying potential challenges in advance, they prepare solutions before problems arise. This proactive approach keeps them consistent and prevents discouragement from derailing progress. Finally, winners treat goals as living tools rather than rigid rules. They stay flexible and adaptable, willing to pivot when necessary without losing sight of the bigger picture. Every goal is a compass, guiding decisions, energy, and effort toward meaningful outcomes. In short, winners don't leave their ambitions to chance. They define them clearly, plan carefully, act consistently, and adjust intelligently. By learning to set clear, actionable goals, you're not just hoping for success, you're creating a roadmap that makes it inevitable. 3. Daily habits that compound into success. Winners understand that success isn't the result of one big action. It's the accumulation of small, consistent habits over time. While many people focus on shortcuts or instant results, winners invest in routines that compound. Think of it like planting seeds. A single seed doesn't grow into a tree overnight, but with daily care, it eventually becomes something massive and unshakable. The first thing winners focus on is consistency. They show up every day, even when motivation is low. For example, an entrepreneur may spend just 1 hour each morning learning new skills or connecting with potential clients. 1 hour might not seem like much, but doing it every single day adds up into hundreds of hours within a year, far beyond what most people achieve. Winners also prioritize high-impact habits. They don't waste time on trivial tasks or distractions. Instead, they identify actions that move the needle the most and make those non-negotiable parts of their day. For instance, a writer might commit to drafting 500 words daily, knowing that even small incremental progress eventually results in a full book. Another key aspect is habit stacking, linking new positive routines to existing ones. For example, someone who already drinks coffee every morning could use that time to review goals or visualize success. This method makes habits easier to maintain and seamlessly integrates them into daily life. Winners also practice self-discipline and accountability. They track progress, review what works, and adjust what doesn't. Instead of relying on fleeting motivation, they rely on structure and routine, which guarantees momentum even on tough days. Finally, winners understand the compounding effect of small improvements. Improving just 1% every day may seem insignificant, but over months and years, these tiny gains multiply into extraordinary results. Fitness, learning, productivity, and relationships all respond to this principle. Small, consistent effort always beats occasional bursts of intensity. In short, winners don't wait for inspiration or luck. They design daily routines that ensure growth, learning, and progress every single day. By committing to high-impact habits, tracking results, and staying consistent, anyone can harness the compounding power of small actions to achieve massive, lasting success. 4. Turning failures into learning opportunities. One of the most important traits that separates winners from everyone else is how they deal with failure. Most people see failure as a stopping point, a reason to quit, feel defeated, or avoid trying again. Winners, however, see failure as feedback, a crucial part of the growth process. Every misstep carries valuable lessons if you're willing to look for them. Consider some of the most successful people in history. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school team. Instead of giving up, he used that setback as motivation to practice harder and refine his skills. Each failure became a stepping stone that brought him closer to greatness. The same applies to entrepreneurs, artists, scientists, and innovators. Their failures weren't the end of the story. They were the beginning of insight, improvement, and resilience. Winners also analyze their failures with honesty and curiosity rather than emotion. They ask questions like, what went wrong? What could I do differently next time? And what can I learn from this? This mindset turns mistakes into a roadmap for improvement. By identifying what didn't work, they eliminate repetition of the same errors and increase their chances of success in the future. Another key point is resilience. Winners don't dwell on failure. They extract the lesson, make adjustments, and move forward with renewed focus. They understand that setbacks are temporary, and the path to success is rarely a straight line. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a necessary part of achieving it. Winners also embrace a growth mindset, meaning they believe their abilities can be developed through effort and learning. Every failure becomes an opportunity to grow skills, knowledge, and confidence. When you shift your perspective in this way, obstacles stop being threats. They become opportunities to sharpen your edge and prepare for bigger wins. Finally, winners share and reflect on their failures. By discussing mistakes and solutions with mentors or peers, they gain new insights, accountability, and strategies they might not have considered on their own. In short, winners don't fear failure. They welcome it. They understand that every mistake contains hidden value. Every setback carries a lesson, and every challenge is a chance to improve. By seeing failure as a teacher rather than a punishment, you transform obstacles into opportunities and pave a stronger, more confident path toward lasting success. 5. The importance of discipline over motivation. Many people believe motivation is the key to success, but winners know that motivation is unreliable. Motivation comes and goes depending on mood, energy, or circumstances. Discipline, on the other hand, is consistent. It's the ability to take action even when you don't feel like it. And it's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Think about the difference between someone who works out only when they feel motivated versus someone who follows a strict routine. The first person might train a few times a week, or even skip entire months because motivation fluctuates. The second person, guided by discipline, shows up day after day, regardless of how they feel. Over time, the disciplined person builds strength, endurance, and consistency, while the motivated person relies on chance to see results. Discipline also applies to mental habits. Winners train themselves to stay focused, avoid distractions, and prioritize tasks that matter most. They understand that long-term success is rarely about one big breakthrough. It's about consistently doing the right things, day in and day out. For example, an author writing one page daily might feel it's small, but over months and years it accumulates into an entire book. That is discipline in action. Another powerful aspect is self-control. Discipline allows winners to resist short-term temptations that derail their progress. While others chase instant gratification, winners invest in delayed rewards, knowing that small sacrifices today lead to massive results tomorrow. This mindset applies to finances, health, relationships, and personal growth. Every area of life benefits from disciplined choices. Winners also combine discipline with planning. They know exactly what actions will move them closer to their goals, and they commit to executing those actions consistently. Motivation might spark the initial idea, but discipline carries it forward until it becomes a habit, a routine, and ultimately a lifestyle. In short, motivation is like fire. It can ignite action, but it burns out quickly. Discipline is like a steady engine. It keeps you moving forward regardless of external conditions. By prioritizing discipline over fleeting motivation, you build momentum, consistency, and resilience. In other words, winners don't wait for the right mood or perfect moment. They create results through persistent, disciplined action. 6. Staying consistent even when results are slow. One of the biggest challenges most people face on the road to success is patience. Results rarely appear overnight, and this is where consistency becomes the real game changer. Winners understand that meaningful progress takes time, and they don't allow slow results to shake their focus or commitment. They know that persistence is often the invisible factor behind visible success. Think about learning a new skill. If you start practicing something like coding, drawing, or a musical instrument, the first few weeks might feel frustrating. Progress is barely noticeable, and many people quit because it feels like they're not moving forward. Winners, however, push through this period. They recognize that the slow early stages are necessary groundwork. Just like planting a tree, the roots must grow deep before the fruit appears. Consistency also builds momentum. Every small action, no matter how insignificant it seems, compounds over time. Writing one paragraph a day may not feel like much, but after months it can result in a full book. Exercising 20 minutes daily may seem minor, but over a year it transforms health and strength. Winners commit to showing up day after day, trusting that their efforts will eventually produce visible results. Another key factor is mindset. Winners reframe the concept of slow results as part of the journey, not a failure. They focus on progress, learning, and improvement rather than instant gratification. Each small success becomes motivation to keep going. Even when results are invisible to the outside world, they celebrate the internal growth, skill building, and resilience they're developing. Consistency also builds credibility and trust. In business, relationships, or personal growth, showing up consistently signals reliability and professionalism. People notice those who are dependable, and opportunities often follow those who maintain a steady course. In short, winners don't let slow progress discourage them. They understand that the path to extraordinary results is often quiet, gradual, and unseen at first. By staying consistent, focusing on small improvements, and trusting the process, they turn patient, persistent action into lasting success. Slow results are not a setback. They are the foundation upon which greatness is built. 7. Surrounding yourself with the right people. One of the most overlooked secrets to success is the company you keep. Winners understand that the people around you have a huge impact on your mindset, habits, and opportunities. While many people underestimate this, the truth is that surrounding yourself with the right people can accelerate your growth, while negative influences can silently hold you back. Winners seek out positive, ambitious, and growth-oriented individuals. These are people who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to become better. They celebrate your wins, provide constructive feedback, and help you stay accountable to your goals. Think of it like being in a gym for your mind. If you consistently surround yourself with strong, motivated, and forward-thinking people, you'll naturally adopt similar habits and mindsets. At the same time, winners avoid toxic or draining relationships. People who constantly complain, discourage, or undermine your efforts can sabotage your progress without you even realizing it. Winners make conscious choices about who they invest their time and energy in. They understand that energy is contagious, and your environment shapes your thoughts, actions, and ultimately your results. Mentorship is another critical factor. Winners often seek guidance from those who have already achieved what they aspire to. Learning from someone else's experiences, mistakes, and strategies is far more efficient than figuring everything out on your own. A mentor can provide shortcuts, insight, and perspective that speeds up your journey significantly. Networking is also a part of this strategy. Winners don't isolate themselves. They actively engage with people who share their vision or can complement their skills. Opportunities often come through connections, and being around the right people opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. Finally, winners contribute positively to their circle. It's not just about taking inspiration. They give back value, support, and encouragement, creating a mutually beneficial environment. By nurturing relationships with like-minded individuals, they build a network that grows alongside them. In short, winners don't leave their personal and professional growth to chance. They carefully choose who they spend time with, understanding that their environment and social circle directly influence their success. Surrounding yourself with the right people accelerates learning, fuels motivation, and ensures that you stay on the path toward achieving your goals. 8. Leveraging small wins to build momentum. One of the most powerful strategies winners use to achieve success is leveraging small wins. Too often, people focus only on big dramatic results and get discouraged when progress feels slow. Winners, however, understand that every small achievement is an opportunity to build momentum and confidence. Each win, no matter how minor, creates energy, motivation, and proof that they are moving in the right direction. Small wins serve as psychological fuel. When you accomplish a tiny goal, like completing a task you've been avoiding or learning a new skill, you trigger a sense of achievement. This feeling encourages you to take the next step and reinforces your belief in your ability to succeed. Think of it like rolling a snowball down a hill. Small actions at the top gradually accumulate, and by the time the snowball reaches the bottom, it's massive. Winners also use small wins as a feedback loop. Every minor success helps them evaluate what strategies work and which don't. By analyzing and repeating the actions that produce results, they refine their approach, reduce wasted effort, and continuously improve. Even setbacks become learning opportunities within this process. Another key advantage is building habits and consistency. Small wins are often part of daily routines that compound over time. For instance, writing 200 words a day may seem insignificant, but after months, it results in a complete manuscript. Exercising 15 minutes daily may feel minor, yet over a year, it transforms strength and stamina. The key is that small, consistent actions are much easier to maintain than overwhelming sporadic efforts. Small wins also boost motivation and morale. Celebrating minor achievements creates a positive feedback loop in your brain. You start seeing progress instead of focusing on what's missing, which helps you stay committed even when the ultimate goal seems far away. In short, winners don't ignore small accomplishments. They amplify them. They understand that success is rarely a single leap. It's the accumulation of many small, deliberate actions. By recognizing, celebrating, and building on these wins, you create unstoppable momentum that propels you toward larger goals. Every small step is a building block, and the more you leverage these wins, the closer you get to turning your ambitions into reality. 9. Visualizing success and planning strategically. Winners understand that success doesn't happen by accident. It starts in the mind. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools they use to achieve their goals. When you clearly picture the life you want, your brain begins to recognize opportunities and align your actions toward that vision. Visualization is more than daydreaming. It's a mental rehearsal that primes you for real-world results. For example, elite athletes often visualize every movement before a game or performance. They imagine themselves executing plays flawlessly, overcoming obstacles, and achieving victory. This mental practice improves confidence, focus, and execution. In the same way, winners in business, art, or personal growth visualize outcomes, the steps required to achieve them, and even potential challenges. This process reduces uncertainty and prepares them to act decisively when opportunities arise. But visualization alone isn't enough. Winners pair it with strategic planning. They break their vision into actionable steps, creating a roadmap that transforms ideas into reality. For instance, someone who wants to launch a successful online business doesn't just picture profits. They outline marketing strategies, product development, audience research, and timelines. This combination of mental imagery and strategic planning ensures that every action is intentional, efficient, and aligned with long-term objectives. Visualization also helps maintain motivation and resilience. When the path gets difficult, winners recall the vivid image of success they have created in their mind. This acts as a mental anchor, reminding them why their effort matters and giving them the strength to persevere. Without a clear vision, it's easy to get distracted, discouraged, or overwhelmed by setbacks. Another key benefit is clarity of decision-making. When your goals are clearly visualized, choices become simpler. You can easily evaluate opportunities, prioritize tasks, and avoid actions that don't serve your ultimate vision. This focus prevents wasted energy and accelerates progress. In short, winners harness the power of visualization combined with strategic planning to turn dreams into achievable objectives. By imagining success in detail, mapping actionable steps, and maintaining focus, they create a mental and practical framework that guides every decision and action. Visualization transforms ambition into direction, while strategy transforms direction into results. Together, they give winners a significant advantage over those who act without a plan or a clear vision. 10. Taking immediate action and avoiding procrastination. Winners don't wait for the perfect moment. They act immediately. One of the biggest barriers to success for most people is procrastination. It's easy to get caught up in planning, overthinking, or waiting for conditions to be just right. Winners know that perfect conditions rarely exist, and the longer you wait, the more opportunities slip away. Taking immediate action turns ideas into results and prevents wasted time. Action creates momentum. Even small steps taken today generate energy that fuels future progress. For example, an aspiring entrepreneur who sends out one business proposal today is already ahead of someone who spends weeks preparing without contacting anyone. That first step leads to feedback, adjustments, and eventually bigger achievements. Momentum compounds, and winners ride this forward rather than waiting for motivation to strike. Another reason winners act quickly is that learning happens through doing. No matter how much planning or research you do, you'll never understand the real challenges and solutions until you start. Mistakes are inevitable, but they're also the fastest way to learn and improve. Delaying action in an attempt to be perfect only delays growth. Winners embrace imperfection, take action, and adjust along the way. Immediate action also develops confidence and courage. Each step you take, even if small, reinforces your ability to handle challenges. Over time, acting decisively becomes a habit, and hesitation naturally decreases. This is why winners rarely second-guess themselves. They trust their ability to adapt and solve problems as they move forward. To avoid procrastination, winners break tasks into manageable steps, set deadlines, and hold themselves accountable. They eliminate distractions, prioritize high-impact actions, and reward themselves for progress. They understand that waiting for inspiration or ideal conditions is a trap that keeps potential locked away. In short, winners don't wait, they act. Immediate action turns ideas into experience, builds momentum, and transforms ambition into reality. By consistently taking steps toward your goals, you break the cycle of procrastination, gain clarity through experience, and accelerate your journey to success. The key isn't to plan forever, it's to start today, take control, and keep moving forward. Remember, winners create their own path and take action every day. Affirm your power. I am unstoppable. Comment this below and let Quantum Power know you're ready to rise higher.